Seminar 3, the creative process. I ask students to sit with their pair that they form on the seminar 1, and then I ask them to share what they have learned from the previous seminar. I let them share around 5 minutes, and then I ask them to form a group of 6, and then after that share what they have learned from the previous session and share what they like or irritate about teamwork, or what they like and irritate in general, what they value. I told them that this will help form their project. After that, I told them that I will have a small team exercise. So I have the question for them to brainstorm. The first question is, what can we do when we have too many t-shirts? So I listen from each team and then write it on the board for them. One of the examples that I did is a bag from t-shirt that I have learned from Campus Advocacy Resource and Education at school. So we cut the t-shirt into like tank top on top, and then we cut the bottom part of t-shirt into like strip, and then we tied it. Each strip, we paired the strip and tied it, and then when we flip it inside out, then we get a bag. Second question is, what can we do to prevent a bird dies because it hits glass wall? For this case, I let students brainstorm, and then I ask each team, and then I put it on the board. And I told them that one of the way that I did is that I took a photo of the glass wall and then the bird that died. I keep them, and then I talk with the professor in environmental science that this happened, and I sent him the photos, and then later he helped talk with the campus facilities people, and then they try to find funding, and after that they put a sticker on the glass wall to prevent the bird hit the glass wall. Students had some idea and did some searching online as well. So some of the ideas are put net in front of glass, or put sign on glass, tint the glass, or put shutter with line. Can apply aroma that bird doesn't like, or have a small device that give off the frequency that bird doesn't like but not harm human, or apply soft material outside of glass. After that, I share with them on how can we prevent skateboard prank injury. For the on-campus one, they put a metal piece to prevent people play skateboard on the chair. Then I mentioned how to keep yourself on track to exercise or meditate. For this one, I mentioned that I need to understand the benefits of it, such as calm, sleep well, better concentration, and I track the exercise and meditation time to motivate myself. I show them the photo of yoyo This one I mentioned that I heard from a nurse who worked in emergency room that she used yo-yo when she take a break and to keep her awake. I took a photo of an example of plans action for success. This one I saw in front of professor in physics. Her name is Linda Hertz. So she put the photo of how to get into the physics graduate program of your choice, which provide suggestion on course to take each year of the college. So I told them this is not the best solution, but it is an example. And I showed them the photo of the tractor transport solar cell panel when they build it as a loop at the parking lot. And I have a photo of the plastic bag that written compostable, and I put the title try to reuse it. I show the photos of the frog on the concrete and the frog on the grass. I told them that I saw the frog on the concrete and I want to bring it to the grass. At first I'm gonna use leaf, but the leaf is too light. Then I went to get shovel, but it doesn't want to come up to the shovel. But I saw it that it like to be under the leaf. So I put the leaf on my shovel. Later it come on the shovel under the leaf, to be under the leaf, so I can transport it to the grass.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask about the spin
And let's see. So that's the team exercise and the sharing information on example of the creative solution. After that, I go over the slide on principle of effective teamwork. I mentioned about intelligence quota and emotional quota or emotional intelligence and cultural intelligence. At first I asked anyone know what is CQ. No student know about it, but after I said cultural intelligence, then I mentioned that they might know about it, but they just don't know the word. And then the topic that I plan to discuss are IQ, EQ, CQ, and what are the characteristics of an effective teamwork. Academic research can learn a lot from corporate research. The topic on how do you start something new. The topic on identifying your research question. For the cultural intelligence, Professor Winey have heard about this when one of his students want to go to the conference, and then he asked student to tell him what he have learned. When the student back, the student told that, oh, he met this speaker, David Livermore, and he talked about cultural intelligence. Then Professor Winey put the note on the slide that if we define a culture as a distinctive shared pattern of beliefs, value, behaviors, custom, and attitude, then diversity is a way of describing any group that includes two or more cultures working or relating together. At many companies, more than 3/4 of an employee day is spent communicating with colleagues, could be online or offline. This one from New York Times Magazine. The title of what Google learned from its quest to build the perfect team. If a company wants to outstrip its competitors, it needs to influence not only how people work, but also how they work together. From the same article, mentioned that by the end of the day, everyone had spoken roughly the same amount on a good team. They were skilled at intuiting how others feel based on their tone of voice, their expressions, and other nonverbal cues. Could be body language, eye contact. Conversational turn-taking and average social sensitivity as aspect of what is known as psychological safety. A shared belief held by members of a team that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking, a sense of confidence that the team will not embarrass, reject, or punish someone for speaking up, a team climate characterized by interpersonal trust and mutual respect in which people are comfortable being themselves, knowledge that we can be free enough to share the things that scare us without fear of recrimination. Listen to one another and show sensitivity to feelings and needs in the best team. In the best team members, they listen and show sensitivity to feelings and needs. When companies try to optimize everything, it is important to remember that success is often built on experience that can really be optimized. For example, emotional interaction, complicated conversations, discussions of who we want to be, discussion of how our teammates make us feel. Effective teams require effective individuals, and the top 7 characteristics of success at Google are all soft skills. Being a good coach, communicating and listening well, possessing insight into others, include others' different values and points of view, having empathy toward and being supportive of one's colleagues, being a good critical thinker and problem solver, being able to make connections across complex ideas. How do you start something new? If you are hiring, have a clear idea of what criteria define the best people for the job. Technical or subject expertise on its own should never be a sufficient criterion. If you are hired, be prepared to function well in a team, even if you haven't met the whole team before you were hired. One of the ways to maintain a good sense of humor. I show the article of the UC Merced appoint first founding faculty. 8 of the faculty was hired by Dean of School of Natural Science and School of Engineering. At the time, doesn't have Dean of School of Social Science yet. 4 of them are married couple. The rest, they never met each other before. I mentioned that is an example of teamwork, and they come up with a curriculum. And I show the photos of material science and engineering faculties. And I mentioned where each person come from, and I mentioned some of the professor projects that I know, such as Professor Kirsch. She focused on the solar cell. Professor Lu, she focused on the nanomaterial synthesis, energy storage. Professor McCloskey do the research on related to biology and cardiovascular. And then I discuss about the identifying research question with the student, and after that I let them have a teamwork time around 10 minutes. Oh, and during the break, 5 minutes in the middle of the class, I share pieces of orange with them and ate small banana with them, and I write on the board how to write the name of this banana in Thai. One student, she looked at it and then she said it looked interesting, and I write her name in Thai for her. Another student asked, if you write something different, is the meaning different? So I told her one of the example. Pa mean throw, Pa mean forest, Pa mean aunt, Pa mean dad, and then I write it so she can see that it's different by a little bit. And I told her if she wanna know more about it, then she can talk with me. Her major is English. And that's it for seminar 3.